guys, welcome back to another video on my channel today. Today we're back with the actual vision weekly time trial driving the Lamborghini Gtr. This time we're driving it around Imola, a really good time trial. I really enjoyed driving this car, although I've not had much time again because I had a broken pedal. I wasn't sure I was going to get this video done in time, but I've managed to just put a lap together that feels good enough to do a little track guide on, and we only made a few very basic changes. There's a car actually on default. I don't know if anything's changed within this project cars with the update hit the other day. Felt really nice on default setup. I didn't really feel the need to go into the suspension too much. Probably could have made it a bit faster, but it felt nice enough to drive. If anything, a little bit understeery, but I wasn't too worried about that, as I think oversteer can be a little bit dangerous with this car on this track anyway. So I was reasonably happy with the setup with just a few minor changes, nothing major, and it drives really nice and really enjoyable car to drive in this game. The sound effects are much better than other cars. I don't know if again something's changed with the update in terms of sound effects. It actually sounds a lot closer to Assetto Corsa, this car, so I actually really enjoy driving this Lamborghini, and I think you guys are going to enjoy it as well. A few little things to notice at the start of the time trial. You're going to have to be very careful because there seems to be a bit of a bug with where it starts the time trial. You have to be very gentle on the brakes to stop it from running wide onto the gravel before it starts the event. A bit annoying, but once you get the hang of doing it, you can pretty much do it every time. Even if you run a little bit wide, it won't invalidate your lap. It's just you don't want to be getting your tyres full of all rubbish. Anyway guys, I'll let you enjoy the lap at full speed and then we'll go through a track guide. So starting the lap, you're going to see going into turn 1, we're going to be looking out for the 200 board on the right, braking nice and slowly down through the gears. You don't want to brake too hard because you can lock the tyres up on this car very easily, using all the curbs on both apexes. And then again, swinging the car over. We didn't really swing the car over enough for this corner as I would have liked, but we got away with it. You can see I was prepared for the oversteer, turning slightly, but we didn't get a massive amount of oversteer. Sometimes you can get quite a lot on that corner. Then we're going to look out for the 100 board on the right hand side. You're going to see it pop up in a second there. 100 board braking down through the gears into third and then second gear as we approach the right hander now. And then we're going to use just keep half on the throttle in second gear, then power all the way through the corner. It will stop the understeer kicking in too much with the rear end power coming through. And then we're going to look out for the 50 ball, braking a little bit short of that. You don't want to brake on the 50 or you're going to lock up and run very wide. Down through the gears. I like to go into first gear, then back into second gear before we get on the power, just to dull the power so we don't get too much power going through the rear wheels, and then we can keep the foot planted in second gear all the way up the hill. And then again, flat out now, all the way up the hill. And we're going to be looking out for the 50-yard board on the right-hand side. Very similar to your braking points with a GT3 car. It's not far off. GT3 may be able to brake a little bit later as the brakes are a bit better. Looking again there, 50-yard board, braking down through the gears into third gear, then second gear. And you really want to hit this curb on the left so you can really get on the power as early as possible. If you miss that apex, you're going to have trouble getting on the power because you're going to get invalidated lap because you run wide. So just bear that in mind on that corner. You really do need to hit that apex nicely. Then getting the car back over to the left hand side, you're going to brake in between the 100 and the 50, down through the gears into third gear. I like to feather the throttle in third gear, and then just as we're straightening the car up, go down into second gear. And again, I would like to have hit this apex a little bit harder so I could have got on the power a little bit sooner, but it was reasonably clean and we didn't run too far wide. We kept it on the track and we got reasonably good exit. Not perfect again, as you can see. I mean, I think we didn't spend much time at all trying to push this car around here, but I think it was an okay lap. So then looking at between the 150 and the 100, braking just short of the 100 so you don't lock up your tyres into the apex. Hit the curb on the right. You want to try and take quite a bit of the curb so you can straighten the car up for the second part and then get on the power as early as possible. It just enables you to get a really nice exit off that corner without running wide and again invalidating the lap. Then coming into probably the trickiest corner on the track with this car in terms of the braking zone, because I mean, in any car, this is a tricky braking zone no matter what, because of the bump on the track and because you're going through a corner as you're hitting the brakes, and the fact this has got no ABS. Braking really early, you can see well before the 150, and really be careful feathering the brake all the way down to the apex. So trail braking all the way through to the corner. We ran a little bit wide, you can see there, we just about got away with it. We used all the track and managed to get on the power reasonably okay. Maybe lost about 3 to 4 tenths though in terms of not getting the perfect entry, and then all the way through the corner, and then the exit of that corner then is compromised slightly. But again, like I say, it wasn't a perfect lap. It's a lap that will give you a guideline to putting yourself into this time trial event and pushing as hard as you can. I think we went over the line in a reasonably 1 minute 46 something. Not an amazingly flying lap, but it's good enough for the top spot on the time trial by quite a bit, because obviously not many people have pushed this car around there. But I expect someone to maybe be able to push this into the 1 minute 45s and really put a nice lap together. Anyway, we'll go through the very basic changes, nothing drastic. You can see there, might have altered the tyre pressures ever so slightly, I'm not too sure there. But brake bias, I found going more to the rear. You could probably go even further to the rear than I did there. Lowering the brake pressure is also down to 75. The default, I think it was on maybe 85, 90, was just far too strong. Up the camber on the front bike to 2.1. I would also maybe consider going a little bit higher on that front camber, just to get a little bit more turning on the front end and get rid of some of the understeer. Suspension I felt was reasonably okay. It felt nice enough to drive. You can't really change anything on the gearing. I lowered the engine braking down to 2 because I just don't like the engine braking high again. It's default on 4, and I think we slightly altered the preload down to 50. You could probably go down to 40, but you're going to have to be a bit cautious when powering out the corners because this car has got quite a bit of power. Anyway guys, hope you enjoyed the video, and we'll be back with next week's time trial again soon. Check out all the links within the description if you want to take part. Thanks again for watching.